Welcome to my views and news. Some news stories for you. Two news stories. First one is from Gonder city. While Amhara Special Force members are returning to the camps as a result of efforts by Amhara Prosperity Party, Orthodox Church leaders, etc. But in Gonder, reportedly, an assassination attempt was made on some Amhara Prosperity Party officials. What happened there? Why is that there was exchange of gunfire for several hours in Gonder city? We have details for you. Secondly, viewers, Jaal Marro Kumsa Diriba, head of Oromo Liberation Army, has been seen in a new video since yesterday. The video is in social media. Jaal Marro seems to be addressing new recruits. The video is from a graduation ceremony of new Ola fighters, it seems. What did he say? And is there any sign of start of talks between the government and Ola from Jaal Marro's speech at the ceremony? Firstly, viewers, Gonder, as I've been saying, was the heart of the resistance movement, which we saw around a week-long resistance movement by Amharas against disarmament, restructuring of Amhara Special Force members. Security restrictions have been announced in Gonder city. There was a big demonstration in Gonder. Amhara Special Force members, Fano members addressed the participants and the participants lashed out at Oromia government and Ethiopian federal government PM Abiy at that protest. Then we saw that the protesters suspended their movement, their protest. And since then, we've been receiving conflicting information or different information about what is the next phase of this struggle. Meanwhile, government is in talks with the Amhara Special Force members who left the camps and tried to organize a movement to resist the disarmament of Special Force members. And yesterday, some pictures were shared from South Gonder and from Wallo, where reportedly Amhara Special Force members are returning to the camps. Amhara government, Ethiopian federal government has been asking Amhara Special Force members to return to their camps. Around 30% of total ASF members fled the camps and they tried to start a sort of rebellion against the government. Now, what happened is that in South Gonder, in Wallo, ASF members returning. In Voldia, they are filling in forms to state their choices about their future deployment in terms of their becoming part of regional or federal forces. In Gonder, things are a bit different. Amhara Prosperity Party has been tasked with mediation, with engagement. It should engage ASF fighters through communities, elders, through religious elders, etc. A delegation of Amhara Prosperity Party arrived in Gonder city reportedly. From Bahirdar, this delegation arrived in Gonder. Delegation was trying to involve Gonder city mayor and groups in Gonder, activists, religious elders, and members of Amhara Special Force. Purpose was to convince Amhara Special Force members to agree to restructuring or disarmament. Fano fighters came to know of the arrival, the objectives, the agenda of this Amhara Prosperity Party delegation. and reportedly they tried to assassinate this Amhara PP delegation for several hours in a cabaret in Gonder. There was exchange of gunfire. Obviously, Amhara PP members were protected by security officials. Between security officials and Fano fighters, there was exchange of gunfire for several hours in Gonder city. Around 36 to 48 hours ago, because we got this report around 48 to 36 hours ago. Then we started confirmation, and just a few hours ago we got this confirmation from a friend of us who's very reliable, who's been helping us in covering what is happening in Gonder. So obviously it means that so far Gonder Amhara Special Force is not being disarmed. It is not agreeing to restructuring. And some sources in Gonder say that if there is no solution to the issue after Eid, after Easter, Gonder will announce a second phase of this struggle against the government. Let's see. So far, everything seems to be back to normal in Gonder, by the way. No protest there. No strike as well. Vehicle movement almost normal, though no large-scale gatherings allowed there. But it's difficult to say if federal government or Amhara regional government is in charge of situation in Gonder. It's difficult to say so far, because obviously if Fano fighters are in a position to make an attempt to assassinate Amhara PP leaders in Gonder, it means that they still control or they still have their presence in Gonder. Secondly, words Kumsa Diriba, head of Oromo Liberation Army, Ola, also called Jaal Marro, appeared a few hours ago in a video. Jaal Marro has been pronounced dead several times in the past, but somehow after a few weeks or months, he keeps on appearing in videos. He looks very lean in this video, though he has always been slim, but I found him a little weaker in this video. Jaal Marro is addressing a graduation ceremony of OLA fighters. Location of this video where it was recorded is not clear, though we have some information. I want to disclose it. Jaal Marro addressed the new OLA fighters. He talked about sacrifices of Oromo forefathers. He said the sacrifices of Oromo fathers are being taken for granted. Oromos are just sitting and crying. They need to rise, they need to stand up and fight for their rights. Freedom is not free. Freedom has a price. Price will have to be paid. He asked Ola fighters, that these fighters, that he said, you should be a poison to your enemies, but to the people of Oromia, you are an angel. You're trying to free them, to save them. So be ready to face all the hardships in this struggle. He criticized Emperor Menelik and his followers. He said Emperor Menelik and his followers multiple times tried to kill Oromos, and that those who are followers of Emperor Menelik, they have entered the palace and they want to lead Oromos while they are reciting the name of Emperor Menelik. So he criticized ruling party in Oromia on federal level, and of course Amhara PP. He did not name anyone. He criticized rulers, that those who are at the palace are followers of Menelik, so they cannot lead the people of Oromia. Now, The video indicates that OLA is still recruiting. Recruitments are underway. Despite some calls for peace, gestures for peace shown by the two parties, OLA and Oromia government, on the ground, OLA has not suspended its recruitment and training activities. The video is clearly a proof. Secondly, Jaal Marro did not say a word about talks. Why? Because obviously he was at a ceremony, a program of OLA fighters. OLA fighters are being mobilized. They are being charged by Jaal Marro to fight. Obviously, at such programs, no one talks about talks, mediation, etc. But behind the scenes, we know that efforts are underway to bring OLA and government closer. Two countries playing a role. I told you earlier, Norway, US. Their envoys have contacted OLA. They have contacted Ethiopian government. Africa Union is being involved as well. Though we have not seen any mechanism established so far for the start of these talks. So while no start of talks, OLA continuing its recruitments, its training of new recruits. Watch a small clip of Kumsa Diriba's speech, which was shared in social media around 24 hours ago. Keep watching.
Dhaloota harka duwwaa sanatu hidhaa baase har'a sanatu qawwee hidhachuuf dirree jira settiin qawwee hidhaa jechuudha. Qawween hidhattu kabajaa qabdi. Oromootti miti saba kee haadha kee abbaa keetti miti bineensa ajjeefattee hin nyaannettiyyuu qawwee hin qabamtu. Seerri woboo naamusni woboo akkasi woboonis akkasittiin beekama inni kaleessaa woboon akkasii sun inni fooliin dafqasaatu urgaa'u siin jedhe ka Oromoon gabaa keessaa faana fiigu otoo mana